II, or Frederick the Great, was the king of a German country named Prussia. He was born in 1712 and he began his reign in 1740, which lasted until 1786, which gives him a remarkably long reign of 46 years. During that time, he cemented himself as one of history's greatest leaders. He reformed the Prussian army and created a superpower for the Prussian kingdom that lasted for years after his death. One of his longest lasting legacies is the roadmap he left for other rulers. Frederick was an enlightened monarch. He did favor a strong central government, but he wanted the best for his citizens. And this can be seen in one of the documents that we read called Essays on the Forms of Government. In this, he states ideas that were not popular with monarchs at the time. Many kings like Louis XIV loved glamorous projects like a new cathedral or a royal palace. But Frederick was against such waste of taxes. He preferred the money to be put to use in defending the nation or improving the conditions for his citizens. This is one of the most important aspects that separates Frederick the Great from many historical or many European monarchs, and is one of the many reasons he is considered so great.
So, Frederick II of Prussia believed that rulers should know the weaknesses and the strengths going on in the countries. He believed that rulers were men just like everyone else and that they should be engaged with the people in their country. He also thought that the rulers were the backbone of the sovereigns, so therefore they should act with the proper attitude towards their citizens, giving them the respect they deserve. He believed that rulers should be held accountable for anything bad that happens or any kinds of failures. He gave an analogy in the reading. He said that the ruler was basically like the head and the community was the body. He said that these duties need to be upheld in order to prove that a monarchy is better than a republican government. Frederick II, he was influenced by Montesquieu during the Enlightenment because Montesquieu started the spirit of the laws, so he used the study of government using the scientific method for natural law during the Enlightenment. And then he also came up with 3 different types of governments, and then he also started checks and balances as well. So in Frederick II's political testament, he talks about how politics are a science, which is, has a lot to do with the Enlightenment, with the scientific method. And he talks about how in order to understand the people, like you have to understand the people who you want to govern to be a good political leader, and that the higher class has to sacrifice for the impoverished to strengthen the state. So basically, like one of the first early forms of making sure that the lowest class is healthy and well in order to strengthen your country. And then he says that all governing should work towards strengthening the state, and a sovereign, like a ruler, should not be lazy or self-indulged. So he can't just sit around and do what's best for him and have the poor people, feed him grapes. And then he must set an example pretty much for his people. So being a good ruler will help the people underneath him, work harder and work better. And I think that really led to him being the longest leader in the Prussian country history. And so he basically says, when talking about the monarchy government, he says a single brain is better than having a lot of people try to work towards one thing, and how a country should just have one common brain. And then one of the biggest takeaways that works with the whole Enlightenment idea is how he was one of the first to use religious toleration. And he says that religion at the top causes problems, and politics should not involve religion. And so basically, he just wanted to be a voice for the people and continue, he says, for the people to continue to allow the rulers to rule and then continue to be the body of the community.